Welcome students. So today we're going to be working with 3.2 using tape diagrams. Your standard is 6th grade number sense A, and our objective today is that by the end of this lesson you will be able to use tape diagrams to model and solve ratio problems. Mathematical literacy, we're talking about vocabulary words. We have ratio, unit rate, equivalent ratios, equivalent rate, and rates. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so with 3.2, we're going to be using tape diagrams, and your success criteria is that by the end of this lesson, you will be able to interpret tape diagrams that represent ratio relationships. You're also going to be able to draw tape diagrams to model ratio relationships. Now, when we say model, we mean draw out a sketch of a ratio relationship. And also, you're going to be able to find the value of one part of the tape diagram, and also to use tape diagrams to solve ratio relationships. So with that being said, for 3.2 you are still working with ratios, but you're drawing them out. Alright, here we go. Okay, so as far as our mathematical literacy, let's go ahead and look and review what we learned with 3.1 with ratios. So ratios, it is a comparison of two quantities. For an example, you might use a ratio to compare the number of cats to the number of dogs. A ratio can be written in a few different ways. So we have a visual here. We have 1, 2, 3 cats, 2, 1, 2 dogs. The ratio 3 to 2, 3 cats to 2 dogs can be written as 3 cats to 2 dogs, or as a fraction, 3 cats to 2 dogs, or as a word, 3 cats to 2 dogs. Now just remember that you have to really pay attention and listen to what is mentioned first. So let's use A here to represent the first quantity and B to represent the second quantity. The ratio A to B, cats to dogs, can be written as cats to dogs, or cats to dogs, or cats to dogs. Okay, the colon, the fraction bar, and the word two all represent 2. So now we're comparing two different quantities. The first quantity, comparing that to the second quantity. All right, let's go ahead and continue. All right, let's do a quick introduction with the tape diagrams and how we use them with ratios. So imagine that you're a hiker. And you see a beginner trail and you see an expert trail. What can you determine from this tape diagram by looking at it? So we do have 1 box for the beginner trail and 4 boxes for the expert trail. Well, one indication that you can make is that the expert trail is 4 times as long as the beginner trail. Here in Tuba, you definitely need a hiking stick so you can battle the res dogs so they don't come after you, right? But you can write a ratio in 3 different ways. The beginner trail to the expert trail. Okay, or you can say the beginner trail to the expert trail. Or you can say the beginner trail to the expert trail. Now there's 3 different ways you can write this ratio. So all we want to do for now is just help you guys understand and use tape diagrams, and just kind of have you guys take away the visual model from the tape diagrams. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so we're going to use this understanding of a tape diagram. So let's read this situation here. So it says, and it reads, that the tape diagram we see here represents the ratio of blue monsters to green monsters that you caught in a game. So you caught 10 green monsters. How many blue monsters did you catch? So that being said, again, you caught 10 green monsters. So if one of these boxes is worth 10, then that would indicate that the other boxes are worth 10 as well, because they're equivalent. So again, you caught, so we have this ratio of blue monsters to green monsters. Okay. Now, because we have 10 times 10, we have 10. One unit is worth 10. So we multiply 1 times 10 and we have 10. And that would mean that we would have to also multiply 3 times 10. Now 3 times 10 is going to be 30. All right, so we're using equivalent ratios here. We multiplied each quantity by 10 using equivalent ratios. Okay, we multiplied each quantity by 10. So we can say that we caught 30 blue monsters. All right, put a box around your final answer. And there you go. Or you can count them and add them. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 will equal 30. And of course 10 plus nothing is just going to be 10. So we still have the same numbers there. All right, again, we're still using ratios, but tape diagrams gives us a visual diagram. It gives us a visual picture of these ratios. All right, for this next one, we're going to show you guys how to draw a tape diagram. Let's read this situation. So it reads as that there are 3 bones in a cat for every 4 bones in a dog. The cat has 240 bones. How many bones does the dog have? Now, notice that these represent 240 bones. So what I mean by that is that if the cat has a total of 240 bones, okay, we're going to divide that by the ratio 3. So listen closely. The ratio reads as the cat. There are 3 bones in a cat. 2, okay, 2, 4 bones in a dog. Okay, so this is the dog, and this is the cat. So you had to listen to what was mentioned first and what was mentioned second and write the ratio according to that. So going back, if the cat has 240 bones and there's 3 bones in a cat, so we have to do some division here. So 3 can go into 24 8 times, but same thing, 3 can go into 240 80 times. 3 times 80 is going to be 240, and nothing's going to remain. Now your quotient will be 80. So that would mean that every box here is going to be 80, the number 80. Okay? Same thing for the dog bones. Every box is going to be the number 80. All right? So how many total bones does the cat have? Well, again, 3 times 80 is going to be 240. Okay? 2, and then the dog. We're going to have to multiply that by 80 too. So 80 times 4 is going to be, 80 times 4 will be like 320. Okay, so the dog is going to have 320 bones. The dog is, or the dog has 320 bones. Again, we're using equivalent ratios and using multiplicative operations here. So you just have to really pay attention to what was mentioned first and what was mentioned second. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so for this last problem, we're going to be using the tape diagram to solve this ratio problem. I'm going to read them verbatim. The ratio of your monthly allowance to your friend's monthly allowance is 5:3. The monthly allowance is total $40. How much is each allowance? Okay, so we're going to find out how much your allowance is and how much your friend's allowance is. Now, if you don't know, an allowance is basically like where your parents or your guardians, they pay you a certain amount of money every month for you doing your chores, whether that's cleaning up after yourself, taking care of the animals, and things like that. Now, both of these add up to $40 combined. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to count how many boxes there is between you and your friend. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so $40 is the total amount of allowance divided by 8 of those boxes. Okay. Now, 40 divided by 8 will be, 8 can go into 45 times. 8 times 5 will be 40, and this will be 0. So that would mean that your quotient is going to be 5, and that would mean that every box would be 5. Okay. So let's see how much you get paid every month. So let's count by 5s, count in multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Count your friends. 5, 10, 15. Okay, so every month you get paid $25 for your allowance, and every month your friend gets paid $15 for his or hers allowance. All right. Let's see here. Well, I guess that's it. We're done. So your allowance is $25, and your friend's allowance is $15. So you make about $10 more a month for allowance than your friend does. All right, so that's basically how we use tape diagrams. Again, tape diagrams are basically ratios. You're still working with ratios, and we're just drawing pictures so that you can visually see it. Okay. All right, so by now you should be able to interpret tape diagrams that represent ratio relationships. Now, interpret means understand tape diagrams. Okay. You can also draw. You should be able to also draw tape diagrams to model ratio relationships. You should be able to find the value of like one part of a tape diagram, and you should be able to use tape diagrams to solve ratio problems. Again, please ask for help. If you need help, please let me know, and I will help you guys. But I need you guys to use that powerful voice of yours and let me know. All right, so other than that, that's all I have for you guys. Please get your assignments in. Please catch up. Please start getting this stuff done. We'll see you.